is a vocal arts competition. Where are the vocal artists? Are there adjudicators? How will this be? Well, I am glad you have asked because we have everyone in place at this time. Welcome to the South Central District's Vocal Arts Competition for Emerging Artists. I am Dr. Terry O'Neill Ford, Governor of the South Central District. Tonight, we have 4 contestants, several adjudicators, you, the audience, and our district's Vocal Arts Chair, Jocelyn Barnett, who will navigate us through this competition. Thank you, South Central District, for pivoting with the district and the association by allowing us to bring to you a virtual vocal arts competition with the same quality of programming, contestants, and judging that you have grown accustomed to with our vocal arts competition. So without further delay, let's enjoy a pleasant evening with young, emerging African American vocal artists. The Vocal Arts Competition for Emerging Artists
known as the Leontine Price Vocal Arts Competition until 2001, is the signature program of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club, Inc. With the consent and endorsement of the concept by Leontine Price, the competition was introduced in 1982 under the leadership of National President Mary E. Singletary, National First Vice President Frankie Jacobs Gillett, and the management of Mary Murray. The purpose is to provide a competitive arena for talented young African American musicians to demonstrate their artistic abilities in classical vocal performance. In 2001, under the leadership of National President Cleopatra Vaughns, the competition began following the guidelines of the National Opera Association. The name of the competition since 2001 has been the Vocal Arts Competition for Emerging Artists and was renamed the National Mary E. Singletary Vocal Arts Competition for Emerging Artists. The National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs, Inc., is the first African American civic organization in the country to award monetary scholarships for performance in classical vocal arts. The primary objective of the National Vocal Arts Task Force is to provide encouragement, financial support, and public recognition for these artists in the fulfillment of their career goals and aspirations.
Leontine Price, born February 10, 1927, an American soprano, received a scholarship to attend Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio. She began as a music education major, but completed her studies in voice. After which, Price was afforded an opportunity to continue her vocal studies at Juilliard. While attending Juilliard, she appeared in revivals of Gershwin's Porgy and Bess and Four Saints in 3 acts by Virgil Thompson. She married fellow singer William Warfield in 1952. Price performed Verdi's Ada for the first time in the famed Milan Opera House, then became the first African American to perform in the role of Shosho San in the May 1961 La Scala production of Madame Butterfly. William Warfield, born January 22, 1920, died August 25, 2002, is an American concert bass baritone singer and actor. One of his earliest engagements was in Mark Blitzen's Broadway opera Regina. His breakthrough came through when he gave his recital debut in New York's Town Hall in 1950. In 1964, Warfield starred in the New York City Light Opera Company's Broadway production of Porgy and Bess. Warfield met a young soprano, Leontine Price, during the international tour of Porgy and Bess, and they were married, then eventually divorced in 1972. He joined the music faculty at the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana from 1975 to 1990 and became a visiting instructor at Northwestern University in 1994. Jesse Norman, born September 15, 1945, died September 30, 2019, was an American opera singer and recitalist. She was able to perform dramatic soprano roles but refused to be limited to that voice type. She was a commanding presence in operatic, concert, and recital stages, associated with roles including Beethoven's Leonore, Wagner's Sieglinde and Kundry, Cassandra and Didon by Berlioz, and Bartók's Judith. Miss Norman was one of the most decorated of American singers. She won 5 Grammy Awards, 4 for her recording, and 1 for Lifetime Achievement. She received the prestigious Kennedy Honor Center in 1997 and the National Medal of Arts in 2009.
Each artist has emerged as a finalist on the local level and qualifies to compete on the district level. These young people represent the results of an intensive year-long search throughout the country to locate the finest and most gifted young artists within the vocal arts genre. Each contestant's repertoire consists of an aria from a major opera, cantata, or oratorio, a German and French art song, and a Negro spiritual or work by an African American composer.
Miss Aboya Nowini. Miss Nowini, a soprano, is a native of Durban, South Africa, and is a Master's of Arts graduate student at Southern Methodist University. She is being sponsored by the Dallas Metropolitan Business and Professional Women's Club, where Gail Thames is the president and Leslie Terry is the vocal arts chair. I present soprano Aboya Nowini.
sous des voiles, sous des braises de parfum. Triste lyre que s'obère, je rêve amour devant. Je rêve aux amours devant. La sonnette et même collive et fond de mon cœur, et je dors. L'homme est mon maîtresse, l'île pour rêver. Nuit d'étoiles, sous des voiles, sous des braises de parfum. Triste lyre que s'obère, je rêve aux amours devant. Je rêve aux amours devant. Je revois à notre fontaine de récoble comme le ciel, cette rose, cette ananas, et ces étoiles sous tes yeux. Nuit d'étoiles, sous des voiles, sous
Harry Lawrence Freeman, born October 9, 1869, died March 24, 1954, was a United States opera composer, conductor, impresario, and teacher. He was the first African American to write, compose, and successfully produce an opera. The Martyr, 1893, was his first opera. It was also produced in Chicago and at the German Theater in Cleveland in 1904.
Mr. Seth Emanuel Clark. Mr. Clark, a bass baritone, is a native of New York City, New York, and is an undergraduate senior at Southern Methodist University. He is being sponsored by the South Dallas Business and Professional Women's Club, where Dr. Lindy Perkins is the president and Dr. Terry O'Neill Ford is the Vocal Arts Chair. I present bass baritone Seth Emanuel Clark.
Take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. It is enough. It is enough. Now take away my life. Not better than my father. am not better, I am not better than my fathers. I desire to live no longer. Now let me die, for my days are but vanity. Now let me die, for my days are but vanity, but vanity. I have been ancient as the world, and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. Have known rivers, ancient as the world, and older than the flow of human blood in human veins, and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I've bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it.
Florence Beatrice Price, born in 1887 and died in 1953, was the first African-American woman to have her music performed by a major symphony orchestra. She was a composer, educator, organist, and pianist. Price was an African-American classical musician who flourished during the Harlem Renaissance. In 1931, Price completed her symphony in E minor, receiving first place in the 1932 Rodman Wanamaker Prize competition for the work. Price's symphony was selected to premiere during the Century of Progress exposition at the Chicago World Fair. A June 1933 concert marked the first time a major orchestra performed a symphony work by an African American woman. Her best well-known vocal work, My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord, for medium voice and piano, was published in 1937. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, she continued composing works for a wide variety of vocal and instrumental forces.
Miss Alexandria Jackson. Miss Jackson, a dramatic mezzo, is a native of Los Angeles, California, and is a graduate student at Southern Methodist University. She is being sponsored by the Garland Business and Professional Women's Club, where Wathenia Clark is the president and Bobby Castile is the Vocal Arts Chair. I present Dramatic Mezzo, Alexandria Jackson.
ging regenschwer und sturmbewegt. Ich war an manch vergessenem Grab gewesen. Verwittert Stein und Kreuz, die Kränze alt, die Namen überwachsen, kaum zu lesen. Der Tag ging sturmbewegt und regenschwer. Auf allen Gräben fror das Wort gewesen. Wie Sturm ist tot die Särge schlummerten, Sister Ella will care for you. You know me, and I know you. Come with me, child. You're my special one. A child like me, with darting eyes. I can remember the time you smiled. You told some tales, fantastic tales, of Arab lands and kings. Come closer, my special one. You know that you are mine. Come, child, come with me. The whole big city waits for you to see. My side of town, they call the hill. It could be the bottom, the south side of Harlem. It's always busted and sprawling, but it's still like a home. We call the streets by our very own names. We Negroes don't leave a place quite the same.
Paul Leroy Robeson, born April 9, 1898, died January 23, 1976, was an American bass baritone concert artist and stage and film actor who became famous both for his cultural accomplishments and for his political activism. Paul Robeson starred in a London production of Othello in 1930. In 1936, Robeson appeared in the film adaptation Showboat. Robeson's performance of Old Man River became his signature piece. In 1959, Robeson performed Othello at the famed Stratford-on-Avon Theater, after which his health forced his retirement in 1963.
Mr. Talizi Endell. Mr. Endell, a baritone, is a native of Johannesburg, South Africa, and is a graduate student at Southern Methodist University. He is being sponsored by the North Texas Business and Professional Women's League, where Dr. Janine Thomas is the president and Joycelyn Renee Barnett is the vocal arts chair. I present baritone Talizi Endell.
This concludes all of the contestants' performances. I would now like to introduce our special guest artist, Mr. Caleb A. Barnett, a tenor junior musical theater major from the University of Central Oklahoma, with his rendition of Make Them Hear You from the musical Ragtime.
Go out and tell our story, let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you, make them hear you. How justice was our battle and how justice was denied. Make them hear you, make them hear you. And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight, that sometimes there are battles which are more than black and white. And I could not put down my sword when justice was my right. Make them hear you. Go out and tell our story to your daughters and your sons. Make them hear you, make them hear you. And tell them in our struggle we were not the only ones. Make them hear you, make them hear you. Your sword can be your sermon with the power of the pen. Teach every child to raise his voice, and then, my brothers, then will justice be demanded by 10 million righteous men. Make them hear you. When they hear you, I'll be near you again.
This has been a very exciting evening, and we have presented four exceptional young classical artists. We want to thank all our sponsors and committee members that have worked extremely hard to produce this magnificent production. And now, what we all have been waiting for. The adjudication process has taken place, and Governor Terry Ford and Vice Governor Murray Gray will announce the placements of the contestants and scholarship awards.
Our fourth place contestant receiving a $150 scholarship is
Our third place contestant receiving a $300 scholarship is
our second place contestant receiving a $350 scholarship is
and our first place contestant receiving a $400 scholarship and advancing to compete in our National Vocal Arts Composition representing the South Central District is